Hi, this is Kim from Dorothy's Daughter. Welcome to my channel. A special welcome to all my new subscribers. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I hope that you continue to find inspiration here at my channel. Today I want to talk about creating your own textiles with Suki Neko inks. One of the things I love about sewing is that really, if you get into creating your own textiles and things, it is limitless creativity. And we were created in the image of a creative God. So we have just an unbelievable, limitless creativity available to us that is just, I think the human spirit barely taps it. I think if we were able to open it up even more, we could just do amazing things. Not that some people have already achieved that. I feel blessed to be able to do just a tiny bit of that. But so what I wanted to talk about today is just being able to create your own textile. Maybe you're looking for a special gift for someone who has an interest that you just can't find fabric that would be meaningful to that person. It's some kind of special garment. That's actually the situation that I was in this past couple weeks. My little grandson is 5, and if you've watched my other videos, you know I've talked about him before. He is a cutie patootie. Well, actually, he turns 5 tomorrow, but we celebrated his birthday this past weekend. He is obsessed with scorpions. Now, it's not dark and goth and weird how some of that stuff can be. It's not Halloweenish or anything like that. It's just nature, and he loves bugs and especially scorpions. So go try to find some juvenile scorpion fabric and you'll see the wall that I was up against. I wanted to make him a shirt that he would just be thrilled with. And he saw my other grandson's Toy Story shirt, and he wanted one that was personal to him. And there's no scorpion fabric out there. What you can find is astrology with Scorpio, but that's not really, none of that was really cute or looked realistic or anything. So it was more, just astrology. So I decided that I was going to find scorpion fabric, and if I couldn't find it, I would make it. So what I ended up doing was purchasing a rubber stamp that is a scorpion and stamping the fabric with Suki Neko ink. Now, I took a workshop a few years ago at a sewing expo on Suki Neko inks, and I bought this little kit. I think I've used up one of them already, but it had like 6 different dyes and or inks, and you basically can mix these to do any color that you would like. There are several ways to apply it, and I've played around with a lot of them. You can fill a bottle with alcohol and then spray it on, and you get like a fine mist. One of my favorite ways is to use foam, and then you can put like a layer of foam on, I don't know, I use like a plastic tablecloth, and then put the inks in the foam, and then you can swirl it around. You can use like this little rake thing and make designs in the foam, and then press your fabric down in it. You can use sponges, loofahs, daubers, little daubers, big daubers. There's all different kinds of ways. The sky's the limit. But any medium that you can use to get it into the fabric the way you want it, it is permanent. And but there's a few rules you have to follow to make sure it's permanent. So first of all, I washed my fabric with no fabric softener, because you don't want anything that's going to repel the ink away. This is some scraps of what was left, and I did use the best scorpions to make the shirt, so not all of this has turned out the best, but I'll just show you some of it here. And I'm going to show you the final product at the end, so hold tight for that. But you can see there's little brown scorpions on green fabric is what I was going for. And it turned out absolutely wonderful. He loves the shirt, and I'm going to pop up a picture of it at the end of him in his proud shirt. His mommy got him a t-shirt that said, it says, just a boy that loves scorpions. And he wore that underneath the shirt, and it was just adorable. So that is basically what I ended up doing. So just a little bit about the Suki Neko inks. There is a book that I got at the workshop that I attended. If I can find this anywhere online to purchase, I'll put a link below. But it's a book that goes through all the different techniques and all the different ways that you can use the inks on fabric. And you see a lot of quilters using these, but I don't see a lot of garment sewers using it so much. So yeah, I wanted to incorporate it into my garment sewing, which I have done on several occasions. Without further ado, I'm going to cut to a little video of the process of stamping these scorpions. And then at the end, I'll show you a few other projects I've done with the inks and talk about how you care for it after you've done your artwork. Of course, you could paint too with these. You could use some foam to make a thick medium and, dip your brush and paint whatever. It's great for kids to do. I've done it with my grandkids. They made tote bags, and we had foam, and we had a blast playing in foam with fingerprints and all kinds of things. And they made tote bags. Their cousins were going to the mission field, and they created tote bags for them to take with them. So yeah, it was a lot of fun, and I hope that you'll enjoy it. So here is my little video of how I stamped the scorpions, and then I'll be back. Okay, so to start out, I have pre-washed with no fabric softener and ironed my fabric. My green fabric here, which you can barely see in this frame, but I will be moving that way. So that is all set to go. I ironed it flat so that I don't get any bubbles when I'm trying to stamp it. I also just stuck a pattern weight on it so we can kind of keep it in one place. Next, I'm going to go ahead and mix my ink. Now, Suki Neko inks, the kit that I got came with several colors, and it came with some droppers. And then I actually just had this little tray. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to actually keep track of how many drops I use so that if I run out of ink, I can recreate it. So I'm going to daub this dauber in there, and I'm just going to daub it on the stamp, making sure I get every part of it and that it is and then I'm just going to put it down, hold it, don't move it around, and lift up. See, I have my little scorpion. That's actually very cool. So now I'm going to start on the fabric itself. And it'd be real easy to want to, I'm going to turn this fan down because I don't want it drying on me. It'd be real easy to want to hurry this up and, do so you really have to daub it each time. It'd be real easy to want to hurry this up and do this fast, but you really want to take your time. Make sure the entire stamp is coated each time. As you can see, I'm going to have some really fun fabric for for him. I wish I had black, but I don't. So we're going to make do with what we have here. And I'm going to go all different directions because I don't want to have to have it be unidirectional and lay it out that way. I don't want to match patterns or anything. I just want to have them be random, scattered, and all over the place. I already have to mix more, so I'm going to really just do quite a bit more here. All right, so I think I made better brown this time. Yes, that's going to show up much better. So this corner here I probably will not use when I cut my pattern out. I really did want the scorpions to show a little more than that. I think learning here not to get it too wet as well. As you see, that one ran a little bit. Just want to dab it, not too wet. And maybe just press it lightly. I think that works a little better. Probably also going to be quicker to just dab it. I did buy more fabric than I needed, so I'm able to, you know, kind of play with this corner. Just dab. Dab. That's how we need to do it. Dab. Yeah, they come out best when you just don't hold it, don't push it down, just. All right, so you can see being really up here, it's way better than down here. This is my practice area here. And it's going to take a while to cover this entire 2 yards of fabric, but I think it's going to be worth it. I think Sammy's going to be one happy little boy with his friendly scorpions, which I can't even imagine enjoying scorpions, but he's a boy. All right, I will be back to show you the final product and instructions on how I prepare then the fabric to sew. Okay, so a couple of other things I've done with the inks. One of them is this shirt, which admittedly has seen its better day because I've worn it so much. I think I made this maybe 4 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago. It's basically the Green Line Lark t-shirt pattern, but this fabric was just blue and white tie-dye, and I didn't like it. At that time, tie-dye wasn't back in like it is right now, and I just wanted it to be more like softened up. So I used the foam and some red dye, which made it pink, and just put some pink in the places in between the blue to soften the whole fabric up. And then I'll probably try and get a picture, but I'm gonna see if I can get it closer to the camera for you. If you can see those butterflies, I actually used a stencil and applied some white, some of the white ink in butterflies. And I then used a fabric pen to color in the body a little bit on the butterflies. So it turned out really well. And then I set a few rhinestones around, and it was one of my favorite, or is one of my favorite shirts. I would still be my favorite shirt, except that it is wearing out. The fabric's getting pilly, and literally I've worn this thing to death. So one of my very, very favorite things that I used the Suki Neko inks on. I also used them on a tunic that I created for my granddaughter. that has the arrows, the little graphic that I found to put on her shirt with my heat press was incorporated some arrows. So I cut a stencil with my silhouette of some various arrows going opposite directions, and then I used that stencil, and I'll show you a picture of the stencil up here. I used that stencil and I used some blue and blue ink with some foam. I used the foam because I wanted the design to appear distressed kind of in the background. So I didn't want it to be like just outlined really a lot, just not, you know, unlike the scorpion, I just wanted it to kind of look like, you know, it had faded a little bit or a little bit distressed. So I dabbed it on the stencil, and this is what I came up with, and here is her finished shirt. So that's another idea. Honestly, I have not used these inks as much as I thought I would, as much as I should, and doing Sammy's shirt this past couple weeks, I realized that I really need to use them more. So I'm going to keep those more in the forefront of my mind and get creative with them, maybe get a few more colors. They're not expensive. The inks aren't at all. I believe Joann's carries them. I know you can order them from Amazon, and they're just a lot of fun. So to make your design permanent, here's what you need to do. You need to iron the ink once it's dry. You let the ink dry. There are directions in here of how to do it wet, but I prefer to leave it dry, so it kind of sits there for a little bit. And then I actually used my heat press that I use when I apply vinyl to t-shirts, but you could use an iron as hot as the fabric will allow, and just set that ink, you know, like just kind of like interfacing, only don't use steam, just use dry heat, and, you know, 20 to 30 seconds each part, setting that ink in each time. And then I also, just to make sure that I covered every inch, I know this is way overkill, but I just want to make sure that none of it washes out. So after ironing the whole thing, or I used the heat press, but just to make sure I didn't like miss one, I threw it in the dryer as hot as the fabric would allow for, I don't know, 5 to 10 minutes, just on high heat, just to make sure it was all set. So once the heat is what sets it, and then after that you can wash the fabric as normal. I wouldn't suggest doing it on hot water anymore, but on cold water, it doesn't go anywhere. This shirt has been washed, probably at least 30 times, and none of the ink has gone off of it. So it's very permanent and it lasts very well. After doing all that, I actually washed this fabric again because I wanted to make sure that none of it came out, because how sad would that be for this little 5-year-old if he got this gorgeous scorpion shirt and then mommy washed it and all the scorpions were gone. I did not want that to happen, so I washed it to be sure they were all permanent. They stayed fine, and then I cut the shirt out and made it. And I will show you now, without further ado, the finished result. Here's the shirt, you know, just the way that I gave it to him, and you'll see my cutie patootie grandson right here with it on. And he's just a boy who loves scorpions. I'm not sure how long this phase will last, but it's awful cute. At first I thought, what's to love about a scorpion? But you know, it is nature, and they are fascinating animals. And I think we got to the root of it when we realized that his daddy was showing him some Bug Wars videos on YouTube. So probably that's where it started. But anyway, it's adorable. He's adorable. I'm thrilled that I was able to do this for him. Oh, on the pocket, the larger scorpion, that was I purchased a cut file from Etsy for that, and cut heat transfer vinyl just to have one nice big scorpion to kind of make it stand out. So anyway, that is some of the creativity you can do with fabric ink and creating your own textile. Do you have ways of creating your own textile? There's a lot of people who do different manipulations to fabrics to create their own unique fabric from it. If you do, please share it below. And if you have pictures, please feel free to tag me on Instagram so that we can see them. I'll even share them in a video so everyone can see. So with that, I wish you a very happy day. And as I mentioned in my last video, I will be heading down to San Antonio this weekend to be with my brother after his surgery. I'm happy to report that he's doing very well. He does not going to be able to do some things for a while, so I'm going down to give him a little bit of help, but he's doing very well, and I am blown away by all the prayers and thoughts and well wishes that I got in the comments of my videos. So thank you so much. We appreciate your prayers, and I'm recording like mad this week, so hopefully there'll be plenty of video for you to watch while I'm gone. So have a wonderful day.